I'll just get this out of the way. I am aware of my accent as well. I don't need you guys just staring at me, being like, where's it come from? Because that happens every show I do. The first 5 minutes, they won't let me be a person with thoughts. It's just a guessing game. They're like, is it Texas? No. Mississippi? I'm like, don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. I just tell them, Tennessee. I'm from Tennessee. Every time I'm like, oh, you like a redneck? I'm like, absolutely not. It's highly offensive what you just said. Then they're like, you like a hillbilly? I relate. But if you meet an actual hillbilly, you have made a terrible mistake. You need to get off their property. They don't like that. That's like their only rule. Get! Oh, he said get with an I. Go. I get it. They also want to know, too, like, especially people that have never been to the South, fascinated, like, what's the South really like? What's it really like? I'm like, well, it's probably like 8 or 10 of the coolest cities, full of the coolest people, very just unique and just a meld of different human beings and cultures. It's amazing, and the rest of it is exactly what you've heard. But more intense than you can imagine. And then they're always like, well, what's the worst part of the South? I'm like, Alabama, before you finish that question. Yeah, you guys know, all right. And they're always, every time though, they're always like, well, what about Mississippi? I'm like, that's not their fault. Historically, the worst education system in our country since the start. They don't know any better. In Alabama, they know better. They just don't give a shit. That got applause in Birmingham. It's not what I was going for. I was trying to shame them. And they were like, that's us. Yeah. Roll Tide. I know how the accent sounds. I'm aware. It sounds dumb. I get it. It's a scam. We're all running. People think we're way dumber than we actually are. It's the opposite of the British accent. Think about it. Yeah, they sound smart, but if you listen, you're like, oh, you're dumb as hell. I get it. There's certain words I shouldn't say. Makes people uncomfortable. Like, my wife is Jewish. Just saying that, people are like, hey, easy. Like, what? I married a Jew. People are like, I know you can't say that. Like, you can't say that. We just had a baby. I made a Jew. People are like, I gotta get out of here. He's trying to get people fired. Don't go over there. I did. I made a Jew, you guys. You can applaud. That's cool. It would have been weird if you kind of applauded and then didn't. You guys came through. I didn't know growing up I could make a Jew. I didn't know. But I can, and I did. Pretty cool. What happened was my wife is Jewish, and her vagina also Jewish. And the baby came out of there, Jew. It's science. And religion, I think. I don't understand. It's confusing. I don't ask a lot of questions. But he's got blonde hair and blue eyes. I Nazi-proof that son of a bitch. You can laugh out loud. That's a good thing I did. You guys can enjoy yourself here at the comedy show. Feel free. That joke 3 or 4 years ago was just historically funny, and then it got relevant again. I'm just saying, I did not see them making a comeback. I didn't. Fascinating. 3 or 4 years ago, people laughed and like, that's funny. Now people laugh and like, that's good you did that. I get this question a lot because I sound like I do and then I say the stuff I do. How'd you get that way? It's confusing. You sound, like you sound, but the stuff you say is not from where you're from. Like, I had to evaluate it, and it's like, I think it's because my parents are pretty cool people. Like, my dad's a football coach and teacher. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I called him before he retired like a couple years ago. I was like, hey man, what do you do during the day? He's like, you need to mind your own business is what you need to do. Yes, sir, coach. My mom's an English teacher and a maniac. That's what she does. Sure, her name is Storm. Yeah, that's weird, right? I was in my 20s before I was like, that is weird. Because when you're little, you're just like, I guess everyone's mom's named after an American gladiator. That's how it is. That's Steven's mom, Laser. I lived in Seattle for a while, and they came to visit my parents. And there's a WNBA team there named the Seattle Storm. And I was like, is there anything you guys want to do while you're here? Like anything special? And my mom was like, I want to go see that Seattle Storm play. And I was like, why? She's like, because their name's, I hate you so much. Smart ass. I was like, professional smart ass. I had no interest in going in the game, and my dad was like, I like fundamental basketball. You gotta listen to him, he's kind of mean. So I got them tickets, they went to the game, they came back. My dad walked past me like nothing happened. I was like, hey mom, what's going on? How was the game? It was great, I think I might be homophobic. What happened at the game? She's like, well, they were great seats. Thank you so much. We're down close, and action started happening. We were having fun, and then there was like a timeout, and then there were a lot of lesbians there. I was like, you don't have to whisper that word. That's their preferred word. She said, okay. Well, there are a lot of, I can't not whisper it. I don't know why. I was like, okay, there are a lot of lesbians there, Mom, yeah. And she was like, yeah, and then when there's the timeout, they'd all start making out and like their tongues going everywhere. I was like, oh, I don't like this. I was like, huh. Well, if there had been a bunch of straight couples there making out during the timeout, would that have bothered you? Yes. Stop making me see your tongue in public. I don't like that. I'm like, oh, Mom, you don't like public displays of affection, PDA. You're not homophobic. And she was like, oh, thank God. It's in there. I didn't like it, but it was in there, you know? And that was the moment where I was like, oh, this is how I am the way I am. Because my neurotic mother, my whole life has been like, have you worried about something that doesn't exist and can't happen yet? She go worry about that.
3 months ago, there was a shooting on our street. Nobody got hurt, but here's what happened. Someone came by in the middle of the night and shot 3 shots in 3 consecutive doorways. Boom, boom, boom. And just to give you an idea of the street, if they would have kept going, the next doorway would be a yoga studio. All right? So the yoga ladies went insane. They were like, this place has bad vibes! You know, they were mad. And then the real estate agents were like, how are we gonna sell these apartments for millions of dollars now? And then the families were like, is this a safe place for our children? And everyone wanted to know what the shooter looked like. That's all they cared about. They were like, what does the shooter look like? What do we know about this guy? Was he black? Was he white? Hispanic? What do we know about this guy? What does he look like? And then news came back that the shooter was a woman. Yeah. And the conversation totally changed. Oh, yeah. Everyone was like, oh, did she get him? I mean, clearly he had it coming, but did she get him? The yoga ladies were on board. They were like, we will finish the job, you know, just whipping around their mats. The real estate agents were using it as marketing. They're like, the kind of street where a woman's in charge. Even the families were like, you know, you can stand up for yourself like that woman did. She was a hero, and the only thing they cared about how the woman shooter looked was if she looked satisfied.
I'm overweight, but you don't care. I wear it well. I shop at Lucky Brand Jeans. That's what you do. They know how to accommodate someone who's heavy. I go into it, Banana Republic, they're like, he's fat, sir, he's fat. Get him out of here. He's not leaving. Throw fabric at it. You go into a Lucky Brand Jeans, they're like, come on in. This is home. Let me guess, you're a size 36, right? Sure. Don't worry, everything in the entire store is a size 36. Some of it's smaller, some of it's bigger, a lot bigger, but let me tell you, it all says 36 on it. Even the shirts, even the underwear. 36, 36, 36, baby. When you walk out of here, you're still gonna be a big, heavy guy, but people are gonna see you in the streets and they're gonna go, hey, that fat guy can do something for me. And you don't like it so much, you'll be back. Oh yeah, you'll be back. Because it's Lucky Brand Jeans, they fall apart in 3 weeks. You'll be right back, baby. I look good, I would have looked better in another time. I look like the 9th hottest movie star from 1949. Back when you did not have to be sexually attractive to be a male movie star in cinema. You could be a famous person on a big screen and come out and be like, well, yes, darling, of course I've got my swim trunks up above my belly button. I'm a man, after all. I've almost got them up above my nipples because I'm a real man, I'll tell you that. That's right, I've got 3 towels around my neck. You can't tell quite how beefy I am. I've been swimming and smoking all day. Wouldn't you say it's about time for a cocktail, darling? I like that. I mean, I love that whole world. I love the whole world. I was the other night, I was at a bar watching Turner Classic Movies. That's what my life is like. Great. And there was a bar guy next to me. You know a bar guy? One of these guys that's like, hey, you want to talk to me? I haven't talked to anybody since last night when nobody wanted to talk to me. They just show up at 12:30 and then they disappear at 2:30, you know, right after last call. All right, and he kept needling me. He wanted to talk about the movie. He was like, hey, Casablanca, they couldn't make a movie like this today in Hollywood, could they? And I knew what he wanted, and I didn't give it to him. He kept elbowing me. He was like, a motion picture such as this would never be made in the Warner Brothers of today's regime. He wanted me to wheel around and be like, yeah, I agree with you. Hollywood is way too woke today to make an anti-Nazi movie. Can't make Casablanca today. I thought about it. I didn't want to talk to him about it. I wanted to bring it to the jury, all of you people. Thought about it and I was like, yeah, what? Could you? Yes, absolutely. Why not? Let's make Casablanca. I don't care if it's good or bad. I just want to sit down and watch it. I want to see a Casablanca that's made today. Whoever plays the part of Rick is there up all night, drowning their sorrows, and he's like, of all the safe spaces in all the world, she or they had to wander into my nonprofit. That's right, it's a CBD cigarette. I'll have as much of it as I want and it won't hurt my lungs. Give me another White Claw. I can drink White Claws all night. Play it again, Shazam. You played it for her or them. You can play it for me, Shazam. Thank you. I'm from 1980. I've slowly time traveled here in an unimpressive but achievable manner. The tail end of Generation X. For a hot minute, all the 1980 kids really tried to pull a fast one on America. And they were like, actually, we're neither Gen X nor Millennial. We're something in between. Call us Millennials. Here's 35 think pieces to try to convince you. And I was like, I was like, shut up, you're embarrassing all of us. We got stuck on the uncool train, you cannot hop off. You're Gen X, deal with it. Yes, and the younger Gen X people don't understand some of the things about the older Gen X generation, like Elvis Costello, but like, that doesn't make you your own generation. And if there's something I believe in more than anything in this country, it's the generation, like designating and criticizing generations. That's what this country was built on. That's an important industry in this country. It employs tens of thousands of people. Generational science, of course. As a generational researcher, I have many things to say about the topic. If you're following generation science, as I like to call it right now, they have a controversy. You look at a Wikipedia page of any generation, they don't know what to call the next ones. They had Gen X, they had Gen Y, now they're at Gen Z. They're the ones growing up and showing up places, and now they're like, what do we call the next people? What could possibly come after Generation Z? We're at the end. I suppose we could round the horn and go to AA or something. Reset the system. My God, who could have foreseen it? Why did you start the countdown at the third to last letter of the alphabet? You had 23 other options to enter. I know the answer to that. The answer to that is Generation X was the first generation of people that had to be shamed en masse. Before that, all the generations were just compliments. They are the greatest generation. Well, they're the silent generation. These ones, they're the baby boom. Bop, bop, baby boom. We're just babies. We fucked everything up, but we're babies. I'm a 75-year-old baby that owns everything. It's not my fault. Generation X was the first group of children where they were like, get rid of, these kids suck. Boo! X. There was an infamous cover of a Newsweek magazine where there was a baby in front of a television, like the movie Poltergeist. They were like, look at this poor, stupid child watching TV at home. Yes, you bought it, Dad. They're watching music television. Was it gonna always only ever be the McLaughlin group? I want to know who are the designated jackasses at Newsweek magazine whose job it is to criticize a generation every 30 or 40 years. Is it an editorial board, or is it like one old monstrous Crypt Keeper nightmare monster who's like underneath the Newsweek magazine building, frozen, and then they just unfreeze him every few decades. I have been summoned. That means the new cohorts must be shamed. Bring me one of these children. Yes. The new one. Young, so very young. Lazy. Yes. These ones do not appreciate the value of hard work, do they? It's their fault the housing market has plateaued. Yeah. Make sure she has nothing. But just to clarify, I'm in agreement with those people. They don't advertise to me in a coherent way at my age. They know how old I am. All the advertisers know how old you are. They're like, oh, you clicked on a few things on the internet. We know you're a 40-something male in America. They even know on the radio. They could tell. They're like, he's listening to Led Zeppelin. He's old. Some of you are like, wait, I'm not old. I listen to Led Zeppelin. Look in the mirror tonight. Bring me the child. I'm expected in my 40s to have a lot more money than I actually do. The advertisers assume you've got money to spare. They kind of know what year you're from, so they're like, hey, remember when you were a kid and you had a Nintendo and you gave it up and you got a Sega Genesis? Well, similarly, it's time to hop out of that Mercedes and squeeze into a new BMW. You're in your 40s, and I'm like, please, calm down, please. I have a bus pass on me, and I know it has $14 on it because I'm using it. I have a reckless nightlife lifestyle. I eat junk food, I'm up late, I drink a lot. I'm here with all of you tonight. What do you think we're doing tonight? This is what it's like for me every night, okay? If I want to feel seen, I need advertisements that sound like they're for a luxury car commercial, but it's actually just for just junk food. Introducing the all-new Doritos D25i. A luxury snacking experience unlike any other in the impulse aisle. Expertly crafted with bespoke spices, xanthan gum sourced in the Alps mountains, and a sodium salt power of 150% of your recommended daily allowance. The Doritos D25i, with a surprisingly crunchy exterior and a sassy vitamin-rich interior. It'll have you reevaluating what is possible in a snacking chip experience. Drop into your Southern California Dorito dealer for a test taste today. Thanks. Yeah. I'm ready to sell out. I've got the fucking voice for it. I like paying attention to ads. I don't have a lot of ads at home on TV, but when I'm on the road and I go into a hotel, I'm like, yes, now I get to check in with TV the way America watches it, with ads. You watch cable TV like in a hotel room now, half the country still watches TV that way. And it's just, all it is just commercial advertisements and hurricanes. That's all cable is now. You go into a hotel and they're like, oh, you want a room? We got televisions in all of them. Old-fashioned, hand-cranked, rotary-operated television. It runs on commercials. Come on, Jenny, turn it on. All you gotta do is pump in a commercial sponsor and she'll shoot out a motion picture. Just like a Nickelodeon machine. You see these ads on TV and you realize they've been doing some of the same campaigns for decades. Like, you'll see some ad campaign, you're like, I remember that. Like an old soap opera where you re-encounter it and you're like, that's still on the air? Tom Selleck is still doing the reverse mortgage commercials. It's been 20 years. He's on every network an old person could possibly tune into, even accidentally. There's Tom Selleck. Hey folks, it's me, Tom Selleck. It's not my first time at a rodeo. I'm following you from channel to channel, yeah. It's me, Tom Selleck. Believe it or not, the mustache has a harder time breathing than the man does. Now, they no longer bother to tell you that getting a reverse mortgage is a good idea. That's not part of the pitch in the commercials. Now it's just Tom Selleck defending himself for being in the commercial as he's doing it. Hey, folks, it's me, Tom Selleck. Some people have said it's somehow unethical for me to be in these reverse mortgage commercials that I'm doing right now. That's right. That's right. You should feel comfortable. You're in a referendum right now. You're on a referendum of whether I, Tom Selleck, am an honorable man. And let me ask you, you're going to look me in the eye to wandering eye, Tom Selleck, and you're going to tell me I'm trying to take money out of the pockets of America's seniors? An old lady walks by behind him. He can't help himself. He's like, give me your purse, bitch! I do admire, I admire the audacity of an ad campaign that takes on word of mouth as the enemy, which must be destroyed. At this point, everyone in America has had to tell an older person in their life, hey, whatever you do, don't get a reverse mortgage. Tom Selleck is like, yeah, fuck your grandson. He used to masturbate to me back in the 1980s. Now I'm cashing in. I think I wore all these Hawaiian shirts this whole time for no reason. Now it's my turn, Tom Selleck. The ads always took place in a country lane somewhere where you're supposed to feel comfortable about a shady real estate deal. Like a dirt road, a leaning fence, tall, waving trees. Now, they're moving fast. They don't have the same budget anymore. Now the production, they're like, Tom, we don't have the location for real, but nobody's here. Let's get the shot off. So the ads are now just a little more desperate. Tom Selleck closes the door of a vehicle that's still running, and he's like, reverse mortgage, Tom Selleck, come on. Follow me further into the woods and see what happens.